Hello YouTube and welcome back. As we are approaching release date of NHL 25, I decided it would be a good time to go back and look at all the NHL video games and Hockey Ultimate Team specifically. So let's go down the memory lane and see where it all started. Hockey Ultimate Team was first introduced 14 years ago in NHL 11. There was only one mode to play and it was monthly seasons, where you could compete to play the playoffs where you were challenged for the championship. We could build our team by opening pucks in the store, and at that time there was only one currency, EA pucks. Wish that was still a thing even now. Contracts and training cards were needed to make sure you can use your players at any time. You could also increase player overalls by applying a training card. The younger the player, the most likely he had a better training card you can apply. The gameplay wasn't great as you can imagine. Including goalies, there was limited things you can do, and to be fair, it was all new to the players and hockey lovers. The games like Madden and FIFA already got the Ultimate Team, so it was just a matter of time when EA would do the same for NHL. A year after, when NHL 12 was released, they included brand new legend cards and also injury cards to apply to your players when they got injured during the game. One of the things that made sense but was something I couldn't wait when they will take out. I guess at that time it was okay. Also, for the first time they added an option to play a friend, so that's when you could finally start playing online against others. So I would say that's the year when Hockey Ultimate Team actually started, because who didn't like the ability to flex your team against your buddies? You also could just play online games against random opponents or play offline, a single player game. But if all that wasn't for you, you can still play the tournaments. Another huge addition was Stars of the Week, and it was based on the real NHL performance, so I guess NHL 12 was the first game EA needed to hire a content team. From what I saw, they also had an option to send players to the trade pile for an easier way to sell them after. So again, when it was brought back in NHL 22, it wasn't something new, it already was in the game. We could also send players to our active team directly from the pack. Why was it ever removed? Another thing in HUT was a salary cap, so you could only use players who fit into that cap. And of course, you could buy the HUT packs with the real money in Microsoft or PlayStation's store. So here starts the era of microtransactions in HUT. In NHL 13, they created a brand new interface to allow players to manage their lineups in one place and build their dream teams by choosing over 4,000 players across the globe. It was important you build your team right and make sure the chemistry between your players is all green and they can perform at the highest level. If the chemistry isn't achieved, the player attributes or stats were nerfed, something I think they should bring back to the current NHL games, as it would make sense and make team building more fun. EA also fully redesigned the HUT store and added collections. One of the things I liked the most was Team of the Week, where you could challenge and play offline, but it wasn't a Team of the Week we know now. It was other player HUT teams, something we now see in squad battles. So again, not a lot has changed in HUT. We could also finally earn a daily rewards. Same as now, it's not a lot, but by logging in every day we could receive up to 25 pucks to use in auction house or store. Not sure if you could buy anything with 25 pucks back in the day, but I guess it all added up. Another major change in NHL 13 was that we could access HUT from anywhere at any time, because we had a mobile app linked to your HUT account, and it was great to monitor auction house and flip the cards. Again, why do we not have one now? NHL 14 for a lot of people is the best NHL game ever made. I personally never played it, so cannot say how good or bad it was, but I don't think if we would need to play it in 2024 it would be the same as it was before. Some of the biggest changes in NHL 14 was online seasons, where you could use your HUT team and play online games, and if you win you earn points to advance to the next division. If you lose points you get relegated. This is where the real competition started, and being good at NHL video game really started to matter. Chemistry was still a thing, and you needed to build your team smart by using players from the same team, league or country, same as are their original positions. Another big change was HUT Live, player of the game card, and it was based on the real life performance. At any time players scored a hat trick or had a 4-point game, EA would release a card for a limited time you could get in a packs. They also started to add different packs for you to open, and it's funny to see packs like Mega Pack in store of NHL 14, because we still see it up to this day. Why cannot EA just try to be a little bit more creative with the name of the packs? NHL 15 on the other hand was one of the worst NHL games according to the community, but it could be because of the gameplay. When we talk about the HUT, there was not really a lot of changes. One of the biggest I would say was the rename of HUT currency, and from that game we call it coins, not pucks. But I think pucks would be much better in my opinion. Another addition was that we could use our favorite team arenas for our home games. Online seasons was still there, same as all the other consumables, as every year they redesigned the interface for a better fun experience. The collections also get some love and now includes more ways of getting exclusive players. They release them based on real life moments as they happen. In NHL 15 the era of mobile app ended. It was a good ride, but EA decided that it's not needed anymore, and now 10 years later we still don't have it back. There also was a returning bonus if you played previous games, same as pre-order bonus. After not so good NHL 15 year, EA released pretty much the same game, as there was not really a lot of life improvements in Hockey Ultimate Team. Online seasons were still there, but now they also added offline seasons. Same format as online, but for offline players. Not a bad mode for people to start out and to understand the game. Leaderboards and trophy case were also still in the game, same as possibility to check your last games. I also believe it was the last year we saw NHL live moments in the game before it was brought back as part of HUT in NHL 24. NHL 17 took a big step forward compared to previous games, as they introduced the player synergies to boost attributes. Every player had their own playstyle and could play at any position without losing any of of their stats. There were two types of synergies, player and team, and as we all remember, the team synergies was the ones to go after. They also introduced sets where we could trade in cards, consumables like jerseys and logos for exchange of other players or collectibles. So every card means something. If only we would knew it will be a start of hot collectible era. Most of us hate, and the cards will become our main currency. They also added a World Cup mode for 1 year, and I believe we could only play it offline. Something else added to NHL 17 for the first time ever was Draft Champions mode. It looks so promising, but because of poor rewards, not a lot of players really played it. The mode allowed you to draft your team and try out different cards in online and offline matchups. You earn your draft collectibles, and you could after exchange them for players or coins. The icon cards were also something I remember I liked the most, and the card art was probably one of my favorites up to this day, and you could only pull these cards in packs. Hot Heroes, on the other hand, was the master items we could only make in sets. The bright menus was something I probably disliked the most. We started to see milestone cards, play of the game cards, and even the November event, one of the best up to this day. But it's not all. In January, with one of the patches, they added a new mode called Comp Seasons, but they did last it longer than now. First Comp Season was actually 12 days long, so you could actually play it at your own pace. NHL 17 was the first year I started to play Hockey Ultimate Team, and I remember how overwhelmed I was by all the sets and how unclear it was to understand what you actually need to do. But by the end, I don't think NHL 17 was a bad game for HOT players. When we talk about NHL 18, one of the biggest additions to HOT was Challenges, an offline mode you could earn coins to after use for things to purchase in-game. It was a good first thing to do when you just started playing the mode, to earn some coins fast. The draft champions are still there, same as sets and bright menus. Online seasons are still in the game as well, with the comp seasons from day one. In general, there were barely any new additions to an actual mode outside of loads of sets, cards, and content released daily. One of the best moments I remember about NHL 18 was when EA decided to upgrade 100 players and give them ice cards. It was fun and stupid and absolutely broke the auction house and the game, but I was there for it. In NHL 19, EA finally brought back the dark menus, so was able to play the game without the risk of becoming blind. We also saw the beginning of objectives and milestones for the first time, and god, I remember the grind of completing them. Another addition was loan cards, where you could try the players out for a few games and actually see how he plays before making them or buying them, and you could earn them in challenges, objectives, and even milestones. EA did not add any new modes, so online seasons, comp seasons, and draft champions were the only modes to play. As we are now entering the early games from 2000s, I expect some huge improvements. In NHL 20, for the first time ever, we see an offline mode called Squad Battles, something we have in the game up to this point. It was brought to NHL because of how popular it was in FIFA, and to be honest, it's a great alternative to online games if you just want to chill and play the game using your ultimate team. We also have a replacement for online seasons, and the new mode is called Hot Rivals. Hot challenges and comp seasons were still in the game as well. Something people always wanted, EA finally delivered. In NHL 20, they introduced the Hot Champs. You needed to qualify to play your 20 games over the weekend, but it did open the doors to the NHL comp scene. And of course, we got new puck opening animations as well. Not to mention, we pretty much still have the same in NHL 24, and I hope it's time for EA to change it. Another addition was the monthly collectible set. By exchanging collectibles each month, you received a reward. At this point, it was an icon collectible if I remember well. After introducing the squad battles and hot champs and rivals in NHL 20, it was time to make another change to hot modes, and this year they added mode called Hot Rush. We also seen the team building sets where if you collected every card from each team and did that like 100 times, you could earn the year with a 98 overall team builder card. In my opinion, NHL 21 was one of the most boringest years in Hockey Ultimate Team because outside of content there was really nothing good. Straight after a year of not a lot of changes, EA dropped some huge news on us in NHL 22, and it fully changed the way we build our teams. They for the first time ever introduced X-Factor abilities, what when active allow your players to perform better, and some of them for sure were OP, same as they are now. We also saw the X-Factor cards for the first time ever. Hot Champs are now win-based, and in squad battles we were able to choose how long the periods will be. Based on the settings you choose will also affect how many points you will receive to climb the leaderboard. If I'm correct, it was also a year where EA introduced us to the world of power of collectibles to be able to upgrade our X-Factors and icon set items. NHL 23 was the year where EA introduced female cards to Hockey Ultimate Team, so now we can have mixed teams and use them across all the modes in Hockey Ultimate Team. Another big change was to Rivals mode, until everyone complained, and now we are left with only 2 every other week. Also, the cross-platform matchmaking was a big thing, so for the first time ever you could play your Rivals or Champs games against other consoles. Besides that, we are now also allowed to choose the search settings in Rivals based on the skill level or ping. NHL 24 did not bring a lot of news and improvements in Hockey Ultimate Team. One of the biggest ones, if not the only one, was Hot Moments making the return to the game, and this time as part of the Hot. It replaced the Hot Challenges. We still had the same Rivals, Squad Battles, Champs, and Rush. In NHL 25, so far we know the Hot will receive the new mode called Wildcard, and we will see the new XP progression pass implemented into the game. So now you will be able to play the game at any way you like and earn the same rewards. Regards other modes, we know that the Squad Battles and Rivals are still in the game. We need to wait until end of September to see more information in Hot Deep Dive to judge how mode will look like, but from the information we know now, it looks promising. To be honest, when we look back to the game 14 years ago when Hot was first introduced to the game, it was interesting to see how many things were actually in the game game and then brought back, or how many things are still in the game. In all fairness, I don't think a lot has actually changed in Hockey Ultimate Team, so I hope that NHL 25 will be the year things will change. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you watched till the end, please hit that like button and subscribe. It's free, makes me smile, and helps a lot with the YouTube algorithm. And also, you will not miss the next video of NHL 25. As always, guys, thanks for watching today's video, have a good one, and see you on the ice!